Today we started thinking about our positive affirmations, a word that sets a positive goal for yourself. And instead of setting a big, huge, complicated goal, you set a word that embodies your intention or a word that is a little mini goal of where you might want to be over the next few weeks or few months. So think about your positive affirmation word, and we're going to use that today to design a cover for our sketchbook, which is a little complicated because we haven't made our sketchbooks yet. And yes, we are going to be making sketchbooks because I think even though you might normally be able to go to the store, right now during COVID, it's a little bit more difficult. And I also think it's just kind of a fun skill that you could apply to other areas. So maybe you are the kind of person who really likes to write. You can create some kind of book. You can create a poetry book, sketchbook. So it's a cool thing to do. So when you get your supplies, you will have supplies there to help you make a sketchbook, and you can make it in so many different ways. However, we don't have the supplies yet. So today your goal is to get a pencil and something blank to draw on. Notice it didn't say paper. Maybe you're going to get creative and you're going to use the back of a greeting card. Maybe you do have paper, which is awesome. Maybe you're going to rip it out of a sketchbook, but I want you to find something preferably blank, but again, if it's graph paper, you only have something with lines, that's okay. But we are going to be using this next week to become part of the cover of our sketchbook. So I do want you to just think a little bit about that when you make your choice. What do you want on the cover? Get creative. I love the back of wrapping paper. I disassemble cereal boxes all the time. And I said white, but you can do any color. It's usually easier to go a little bit lighter, but a nice light brown might be really cool. So think about your word, grab your pencil. And I do want to say that we are making a cover, but nothing is ever perfect in art. So right away, please take the pressure off. Even though this might be the cover of your sketchbook, you can always add to it. You can always change it. And in art, I don't grade whether I think it's perfect or not. In fact, one of the things we really work towards is learning different habits that are going to help you succeed in life. And some of those are just things like endurance, not giving up. So please don't stress about that. I'm never looking for perfection. In fact, I told you last week, and I'll keep telling you this every day, I want you to fail, and I want you to make mistakes, and I want you just to keep moving forward and see what you can do with them. So we're going to start working on our word art and our lettering art. But before you just start writing your letter, which is pretty cool, or your word, I think that you might want to think a little bit about composition. And composition in art is, where are you going to put it? Is it going to go this way? 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 Is your word going to be right in the middle? Are you going to use a ruler maybe to make sure it's perfect? So think a little bit before you start about where you might want it to be. And it's okay if you want to change that afterwards. Our sketchbooks are going to be a little smaller. So this paper, you don't have to get out your ruler or anything, but it is about 9 inches by 6 inches. So you could have paper that's a little smaller than your sketchbook, and you can use an index card. If your paper is a little bigger, that's awesome, and you can cut it down. So don't stress about that. So my word that I'm thinking of is peaceful, and I'm actually going to do it diagonal. So I'm drawing really light to start, and I'm actually drawing the line that I'm going to write on. And I'm just going to write the word peaceful. And I'm sorry I am writing so light, but artists always go really, really light. That way, without even erasing it, I can make some changes on the spot. Like maybe I want some letters to be bigger or smaller. So I've been making art for decades, and by no means is it perfect the first time. So no pressure. So play with it a little bit, go nice and light. And then just like we were practicing before, you can kind of outline it. You can do block letters, bubble letters, whatever you want. Play around with it. Try to avoid erasing right away. Just embrace those mistakes. So even though this is the cover of your sketchbook, we don't want it to look perfect. We want it to be fun, and we're just playing around. On Friday, we were thinking a little bit about patterns and cool background things, and I encouraged you to repeat simple things. Maybe it's a line, maybe it's a simple shape like a circle, but repeat those things. So play around with it. Think about where you're going to put different parts of your composition. Yes, I have a ruler, but if you don't have a ruler, get creative. You can use the edge of something, whatever you want. But I'm just repeating things over and over and over again. So it doesn't have to be complicated. I don't want you to make it look like mine. I want you to make it be yours, be unique, be different, be anything that you want. Mostly, I am looking for you to embrace your mistakes, to keep moving forward, and to have fun, and to know that art is not perfect, and that's what makes it awesome, because life is not perfect. So have fun with your positive affirmation word today. For today, I do want you to maybe stick to pencils until you get your art kit, and then we can talk a little bit more about doing some other things like Sharpie, using other materials. But for today, if you're okay with it, you know, I'm always a rule breaker myself, but maybe just try to stick to pencil for now. Have fun. I can't wait to see what you make.